Kumusta na ang mga Bisayang nurses nga kugihan o guwapo o guwapa pagyud? Bisan kapoy na, sige lang kaluoy pero guwapa pagyud. Ayan, talaga naman, fighting spirit. Dr. Annabel Borromeo, ayan, serious na, Director of the Philippine Center for Nurses, Dr. Confreda Dumlao, Director of the PRC Board of Nursing, Dr. Leo Ray Suligan, our Doctor and Director of the National Institute for Health. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to address the Cebu chapter of our Philippine nurses this year, 2020, which has been designated, perhaps a little too ironically for all that has happened, as the World Health Organization's International Year of Nurses in honor of Florence Nightingale and her birth. So it seems that everyone recognizes the world of nursing as the central part of our universe. Truly, Florence Nightingale was a visionary nurse and leader whose legacy demands that the practice of nursing throughout the world must be elevated to its proper stature, recognizing the many and multifarious roles that nurses have to play in the global stage. Indeed, it has been said that these are the worst of times, and yet these too are the best of times to be a nurse. The worst of times because you have to practice your medical career in the midst of a worldwide pandemic that seems to have no end. In the Philippines today, healthcare workers, nurses in particular, are threatened and beleaguered by infection, contamination, and even death. Why else would healthcare professionals in the Philippines be infected at the horrendous rates of 13, even 15%? Way past the global average of 2%. Why can we not protect our doctors, much less our nurses? And must the vocation of nursing, of saving lives and caring for the sick, itself become life-threatening? Today, the shocking statistic of almost 10,000 healthcare workers have been affected by the pandemic. 3,402 nurses have been infected, 17 have died, and there remain many more who are in fragile state. These sorry statistics must be rectified. In an effort to assuage the crisis in the healthcare sector, I have filed all kinds of workers' welfare bills to provide protection and adequate PPEs for our nursing sector. We should have free testing for everyone working in our medical professions and provide them with paid leave so that they can rest and recharge. In fact, we have called upon our domestic producers, our exporters of garments, to re-engineer and retool their factories from mere clothing to the more critical necessities of masks, of hazmats, gowns, and all manner of PPEs. Also, these are the worst times indeed. Today, we have heard that the hard-fought and long-awaited promotion from the lowly salary grade 11 of nurses in public hospitals should rise to salary grade 15, but it has been long in the implementation. The risk allowance, the hazard pay that we have long talked about, all of this have been long and delayed. Bayanihan 1 and Bayanihan 2 have demanded that mandatory testing be provided for all our nurses. And yet, the compensation to all our contracts, the 1 million to the heirs of those who have died, 100,000 to the infected, and so on and so forth, are still more honored in the writing than in the actual implementation. and our hardworking and tireless healthcare workers coming home also confront discrimination and difficulties even from the transport workers as well as their very own landlords. This has to stop. The shortage of nurses has been spoken about time and again, and then a ban has been inflicted and a ban has been imposed on nurses traveling overseas. It is important that we rectify these critical issues. But if they say these are the worst of times, these days too are the very best of times, when nurses and health workers, all of you who have through the years been grossly undervalued and underpaid in a society that gives recognition only to actors, perhaps, athletes, politicians like ourselves, who always occupy center stage, suddenly all of us are only looking for those calm, caring, tireless nurses that we need in the face of this crisis. To confront COVID-19, it is, after all is said and done, our healthcare workers, and especially our nurses, who have never been less than heroic, no matter the sacrifice, the pain to themselves and their families. Nurses who risk their lives daily and relentlessly to save the lives of others. It is my great pride that the highest award given by the Philippine Nurses Association is named after Dean Anastasia Giron Tupas, a great Filipina heroine and a nurse from my province of Ilocos Norte. For all of us, she stood for leadership in caring. She stood for gentleness and warmth in the face of great suffering and of pain, efficiency and effectivity in all the modes and technologies of nursing, and finally, innovation in the face of want, courage in the face of war and adversity. Anastasia Giron Tupas was indeed our very own Florence Nightingale, and we look up to her as our hero, the hero of nursing that we today must remember and celebrate. It is said that in every dreadful crisis, there is an opportunity, a great opportunity. Let us therefore confront this crisis of the pandemic and all the evil that it has wrought to win for our patients a new, more healthful life. Let us rest from the jaws of the pandemic, the transformation in healthcare throughout the Philippines that we so direly need. Let us grapple with the dreadful pandemic and find the soul and passion for the nursing profession that we all had at the very beginning. And finally, let us win today for all Filipinos at last the hope of truly universal quality healthcare. Truly, as it has been said, let us not let this terrible crisis go to waste, and instead, let us turn the evil virus on its ugly head to bring about a healthier Philippines, a better Cebu, and a greater Philippine Nurses Association. To all of you, mabuhay ang aton mga nurse at sana manatiling guwapa, masipag, at maligaya ang lahat sa atin. Happy International Nurses Year, and may you continue in your relentless efforts to care and nurse to good health our entire population. Mabuhay ang aton mga nurse nga Cebuana, mga Bisayang nga nurse na kagwapag yun. Thank you and good day.